Every morning, at exactly 8 o'clock, an old man walked into a small cafe at the corner of a quiet street, rain or sunshine, winter or summer. He was always there, always at 8. Behind the counter was Lily, a young woman who had worked at the cafe for several years. She knew most of the regular customers, their usual tables, their favorite drinks, even the little habits they probably thought nobody noticed. And the old man had a habit Lily could never understand. Every morning, he walked to the same table beside the window. He sat in the same chair and left the chair across from him empty. Then he waited, and every morning, he ordered the exact same thing: 2 coffees, one for himself, and one for the empty chair across from him. The old man slowly drank his coffee, while the second cup remained untouched. The steam disappeared. The coffee grew cold, and eventually, the old man stood up and left. At first, Lily thought someone was supposed to meet him, maybe an old friend, maybe his wife, or perhaps someone who was always running late, but nobody ever came. Days passed, then weeks, and every morning, the same thing happened. 8 o'clock, the window table, 2 coffees, and 1 empty chair. Eventually, Lily could no longer hide her curiosity. One morning, after placing the 2 coffees on the table, she remained standing there. Then gently, she asked him, "Sir, may I ask you something?" The old man became silent. For several seconds, he simply stared at the empty chair across from him. Then, he looked at the untouched coffee. "This coffee is for my son," he said. Lily waited. The old man gently touched the second cup. "We had an argument. A long time ago, he left home, and I never saw him again." The old man stood up and slowly walked toward the door. Before leaving, he turned to Lily and said, "If he ever comes back, I want him to know there was always a place waiting for him." Then he left a few weeks later. On a cold, rainy morning, 8 o'clock came, but the old man didn't. His table remained empty. 8:15, 8:30, 9 o'clock. Lily kept looking toward the cafe entrance, but the door never opened. The old man never came. 3 days later, the cafe door opened. A young man stepped inside, his clothes wet from the rain. He looked around the cafe, as if he were searching for something. Then he saw the table beside the window. He stopped. For several seconds, he simply stared at it. Then he slowly walked toward the empty chair. The young man sat down. From inside his jacket, he removed an old photograph and placed it carefully on the table. Lily approached him. She looked at the photograph and immediately recognized the old man. Beside him stood a much younger version of the man sitting before her. Lily understood this was his son, 20 years earlier. Father and son had an argument. It began with angry words, the kind people say when they believe there will always be time to apologize. But pride grew louder, and neither of them was willing to take the first step. That night, the son packed a small bag. He walked out of the house. Without looking back, his father remained standing in the doorway. Neither of them knew it would be the last time they saw each other. Years passed. The father searched for his son, but found nothing. Eventually, he began coming to the cafe every morning at 8 o'clock. He ordered 2 coffees and watched the door, hoping that one day his son would walk through it. Days became months, months became years. Seasons changed outside the cafe window, but the old man kept coming, and the second coffee was always waiting. The young man lowered his head. Then he placed a folded newspaper clipping on the table. Lily picked it up, and suddenly, she understood why the old man had stopped coming. He had died 3 days earlier. The son had finally returned. After 20 years, he had finally found the courage to come home, but he was 3 days too late. He sat in his father's usual chair, staring at the empty seat across from him. For the first time, he understood what his father had been doing all those years. Waiting. Lily quietly walked toward the table. She placed one coffee in front of the young man. Then, she placed another in front of the empty chair. The young man looked at the second cup and whispered, "Thank you." The next morning, at exactly 8 o'clock, the cafe door opened. The young man returned. He sat at the same table, in the same chair where his father had waited for him. Lily said nothing. She simply prepared 2 coffees and carried them to the table, 1 coffee for the son who finally came home, and 1 for the father who had waited 20 years. Sometimes, the people we love are waiting for us to make the first move, to call, to apologize, to come home. But time doesn't always wait with them. So if there is someone you miss, someone you still love, don't wait for the perfect moment, because sometimes being a few days late can become a lifetime of regret. If this story touched your heart, tell us in the comments, would you have forgiven him? And like, share, and subscribe to Story Room for more stories that stay with you.